Hey guys, and welcome to the extra part of my Sonic Heroes Let's Play. Now the footage you're seeing here is from the PlayStation 2 version of the game, which I have stated throughout this LP is the worst version of Sonic Heroes, and I'm only showing a very small number of things. It's really not, it's not that bad, you know. It's the worst version, but it's still perfectly playable. The main differences really that you're going to immediately notice, there's two main things. One is the graphical quality, the other is the sound, and that's really noticeable when you're destroying robots or the rocks, particularly in the seaside zones. You know, there'll be really loud sounds of the rocks breaking apart, which is particularly noticeable in the second bobsled section for teams Sonic and Team Dark, and the enemy explosions, especially when there's a lot of enemies. So you use a Team Blast, you have the massive sound of all the explosions of the robots, but you hear virtually nothing in the PS2 version. There's a slight sound, but it's very quiet. Some of the bosses, you can't hear them at all, like the Egghawk. It's barely audible in the PS2 version, where it's deafening on the Gamecube, and I can only assume the Xbox. PC, I don't know. Yeah, I know that virtually nothing about those two versions. But in terms of the graphical quality, you can see the water is quite blurry on the PS2 version, and when we see them side by side like this, you can really see the difference compared to how it looks on the GameCube version. It's much crisper. It actually looks like flowing water. You know, the PS2 version barely looks above what it does on Emerald Coast on Sonic Adventure. And when you're in Lost Jungle here, there's pretty much no water quality at all. I have no side-by-side comparison for this. But on the GameCube, it looks like actual water. There you can barely tell it's even flowing. You can just about see it, but barely. And this is the special stages. Again, on the GameCube version, you can actually see the tube is like underwater. You can see the water flowing up and down along the side of it. PS2, you pretty much just have a couple of little sparkly effects, and that's about it. Like, for the longest time, it wasn't until I saw footage of the GameCube version I even realised it was underwater. Like, I do not get water from this. I don't know how different it is with the other special stages, because they're not quite as graphically intense. It still looks like the Grand Metropolis one's underwater, but other than that, it's not much different. But now I just wanted to showcase the VIP tables for Casino Park. So I went through this with Team Chaotix, so I'm not really going to bother showcasing that. I just wanted to show how you get into the pinball to the VIP table with the other teams, as well as allowing you guys to hear the quotes that they say when they comment on arriving at the table. So for Team Sonic, you want to get to the higher level pinball table, and it's kind of hard to get up to, but I eventually managed to do it, and there's a little switch right in the middle. It's very hard to see. And once you touch that, you can then go through the lasers. It will deactivate the lasers. You can go up to the secret room, and you need to activate that switch to make a lightspeed dash trail, and that will take you to the cannon, which takes you to the table.
This must be the VIP room.
I return. This room is for high rollers.
I'm going to win big here.
So for Team Sonic, it was really easy. For Team Dark, I don't know how many lives this took me. I had to kill myself several times to get back to the checkpoint, because this is such a hard switch to get to, and it's very hard because it's right there in the middle, and it's very easy to just go right over the top, and then once you're down there, you're stuck. You can't get back onto the table because your teammates will automatically go back towards you. There isn't really anything you can do about that without just killing yourself. And that'll take you back to the start of the table. It's really annoying to get up there. It took me forever to get up there, and it cost me so many lives. Thankfully it's a Sonic Hero, so I have plenty to spare. And other than that, the room is pretty much the same as Team Sonic. I think those two cages were still there for Team Sonic. One's an extra life, one's a special stage key, and Shadow. The lightspeed dash for some reason didn't work there, so I fell back down. So this is attempt number 2. I had to jump here because there was now a gap where that first ring was. Other than that, it's pretty much the same as Team Sonic. It's just a much bigger nightmare to actually get to the table.
This must be the VIP room. It's gorgeous.
Gambling risk level extremely high on this table. Be careful.
And that's pretty much it. There's really the table itself doesn't have any differences, but again there are still a couple more enemies for Team Dark, but that's pretty much it. It's otherwise the same as Team Sonic on that table. It doesn't really change that much. And now I'm showcasing how you can get up there with Team Rose. So Casino Park is one of the easiest levels really that you can get Team Rose to extend the level with. You need to get Cream, I believe, at least to level 1, because the higher your level, the further you fly. And you need to get a good running start and hold the jump as long as you can without making sure you go too low down or fly too early. It's pretty tricky. Once you get there, you need to jump up that ramp because there's no boost pads giving you momentum. And now the level's pretty much the same as Team Sonic, so that switch is still in the same place. And now I'm showcasing the actual VIP table complete with the quotes, because you're really not supposed to be able to get up there. Because obviously we've passed the goal ring, but there is a second goal ring just like where Team Sonic's is. And they even have quotes for it. And there's also a Team Blaster. That's probably there for Team Sonic as well. And it is possible to still get the A rank. I have done it. I don't do it here because I died and I spent forever getting to the goal ring. But it is perfectly possible.
There's supposed to be a really gorgeous room past these stairs. There's no way we can get in, Amy. Let's go.
Why they tell you to keep going even when you've deactivated the lasers. Unfortunately though, because the level is the same layout as Team Sonic, that Lightspeed Dash Trail is how you get to the cannon. Now, Team Rose of course can't use the Light Dash. So the way it needs to work, and I failed the first time here, so I ended up falling down here, but it's also is an area that shows that Team Rose can indeed encounter the Gold Turtle robots, and they even have, I found this whilst trying to find their quotes for the pinball table, they do actually have quotes for like the Gold Turtle robots and the heavy armored robots. Because if you can extend Mystic Mansion and come across a heavy egg hammer armored robot with a helmet, but all they do is just say use Team Blast on them, like they did for the hint ring for the normal armored robot in Final Fortress. But they do have, there's a number of unused quotes. I was really quite surprised. And that includes like the other teams talking about auto homing, which I've only heard with Team Rose in the game. They even actually have hints for the hint rings, telling you that what the hint rings do. It's like, oh yes, I can see that. It's clearly what that ring is for. But unfortunately, your only real way of getting over there, unless you're playing like the PC version, I don't know if it has some sort of moon jump code, I have absolutely no idea. But your only way to do it is to continue to use Thundershoot, because whilst Cream is doing that spinning animation, if you tap forward, the gauge doesn't deplete, but it's very hard to do. It is extremely hard to do. And I tried this many times. Again, I lost many lives, but I just wasn't able to do it. You can see I've gotten, this is about as far as I could get. And this was my best attempt, but I just wasn't able to get there. Your gauge won't go up or down when, your gauge won't move when you're going up and down. So I got pretty far, but unfortunately I couldn't actually get to the table itself. But there are videos on YouTube that do showcase actually getting onto the table. It's just a really long process. You can see I've 20 minutes. Now obviously that's about 17 minutes because we had the rest of the level beforehand. And that's just from one attempt. I spent forever trying to do this, and eventually I just decided, right, I can't do this. I'll just insert the clips. So, you know, here are the, well, firstly, I'm showcasing the rest of the level first off. You know, there's nothing else to see here. Because I spent so long doing that, I got no time bonus. I'd already died in the level to go back to the checkpoint, which unfortunately does, if you do that, you are required to hit the switch again, because the other checkpoint, if you die after hitting the next checkpoint, the lasers turn back on. So this is something, I can't remember the last time I even saw this. An E rank. I can't remember the last time I saw this in Sonic Heroes. We're talking quite a few years back now. But just so you guys can hear it, here are the quotes for the VIP table. Once that's done.
So this is the VIP room, huh?
What's a VIP?
This room is for special people, Mr. Big.
Okay, so Casino Park isn't the only level that Team Rose can get an extension for. They can also do it with Bullet Station. For that, it's really close, and I did at one point actually clip through the rails trying to do that. You know, that was actually my second successful attempt, because I realized the first time I was like, oh yes, I got it there. But I wasn't actually recording it. I was like, oh crap, I forgot to start the recording. Because I was just going to do it at the end of the level. There's no point of recording the whole level. It's really not that big of an extension. I don't know why they even bothered, really. But you need to have Cream at level 3 in order to make that jump. And it's really weird, because it's the only one I know where there's actually a second goal ring. Other levels you can extend, I think there are Frog Forest. I did try that one, but I think you need to use the Thundershoot trick again. Not as bad, nowhere near as far, but still, I couldn't make it. And you can do it to Mystic Mansion. That's how they can encounter the Heavy Egg Hammer. But once because again the level is the same as Team Sonic's layout after that point, you can't use the Lightspeed Dash Trail to get to the room with the altars. So that's as far as you can go. I don't know if you can do it in any other level, and sadly, it is possible to A rank, I'm pretty sure, but I only ended up with a B, sadly. But it's such a small span of time, I don't know why they even bothered. That was all with the GameCube version, by the way, from the casino stuff onwards. But now we're back on the PS2 version, because I just wanted to showcase this fail-tastic demo. So if you leave the title screen running long enough, you'll get to the opening video that we saw at the start of the LP. If you do it a second time, it will cut to Team Sonic, a demo of Team Sonic going through Seaside Hill. Now in the GameCube version, and I can only assume the other versions, they'll go up there and play the level like normal, but not on the PS2 version. What is going on here? Firstly, he's encountering that constant issue I was talking about, where it acts as though you've pressed the button twice. But what is going on? Just switch to fly formation. I don't know why they're having such a hard time. And I did try and showcase that constant issue where I clipped through the springs in Lost Jungle. First time ever. Of course, I'm recording myself. It decides not to work. Typical. But that's pretty much the only main stuff I really wanted to show off. Because after that, you know, there's all sorts of deleted quotes from the characters, but there's so many of those, it turns out there's really no point in showcasing them all off. You can find videos of every single character quote. Try and tolerate Tails. I dare you. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show off. So the last thing I just wanted to showcase was Seagate, the tutorial stage. Now we went through this with Team Rose, but I just wanted to let you guys just hear the level, like hear the stuff Omochao has to say, even though most people wouldn't really want to listen to Omochao anyway. Since it was the version that I was already recording footage on at the time, it is the PS2 version. Dialogue's exactly the same, as far as I can tell. I think the delivery is exactly the same. The only difference, obviously, is the buttons. So, obviously, on the GameCube version, it'll say press A to fly, whereas PS2 will be press X to fly. That's the only difference. Everything else is exactly the same. So, you just get to hear Seagate in full. You can access it at any time on the single-player menu by going to Tutorial. You'll be playing as Team Sonic, whereas it's part of Team Rose's story. Here you'll play as Team Sonic. I don't think, unless you can hack your way in there, you can't play as Team Dark or Team Chaotix in the level. But anyway, I've rambled on in this black screen for way too long. So here is Seagate, and I will see you guys next time with Super Hard Mode, the final playthrough of the game at last. So I will see you guys then.
Hello, I'm Omochao! In this stage, you can practice different types of actions. Listen to me carefully, and you will learn a lot. Okay, are you ready to start? First, I'll explain the formation. Each formation is different depending on who the leader is. Press the triangle button or the circle button to change the leader and try different formations. Do you see the blue, yellow, and red symbols in the top right corner of the screen? The blue symbol means the leader is speed type. The yellow symbol means the leader is fly type. The red symbol means leader is power type. The character symbol at the bottom indicates the current leader. Next, I'll tell you about the formation signals. These signals tell you which formation is most effective from that point. When the signal is blue, speed type leader is recommended. When the signal is red, power type leader is recommended. This is the formation change gate. The leader automatically changes when you go through this gate. You're in speed formation when the character in the blue symbol is the leader. This formation features really fast speed. Let's try it by changing the leader to the character in the blue symbol. Now I'll explain the homing attack to you. The homing attack comes in really handy and is used often in the speed formation. So make sure to master this technique. Press the X button to jump, then press the X button again while you're in mid-jump. That's how to use the homing attack. Now, let's try it without springs. Now, let's talk about rings. These things lined up here are what we call rings. It's important to always have at least one ring with you so you don't lose a life when you take on damage. So don't forget to pick up rings. These are the bad guys. Let's get them. Let's try attacking them using the homing attack. Since homing attack automatically targets the enemies for you, it's really easy to attack them.
Yes! Yeah!
Good job! The homing attack also automatically targets springs and item boxes too. Use this technique to jump to different places. Now, let's try it! Next, let me explain Rocket XL to you. It's way cool! Rocket XL is an attack where you use your teammates to bounce off of to accelerate. It's a little bit complicated, so listen carefully. Press the square button to bring everyone together. Once everyone is together, let go of the square button. That's how to attack using Rocket XL. If you let the square button go before everyone is together, you'll do a completely different attack. So be careful. Now, let's try it. Yeah. Go. Now, let's talk about the level up feature. That thing is called a power core. It's used to level up your character. A blue power core increases the speed type character's level. A yellow power core increases the fly type character's level. And a red power core increases the power type character's level.
Level up!
Sometimes you can even get power cores by defeating enemies. Let's destroy those guys and get the power cores. You can check to see which attacks have been leveled up later.
Level up!
Next, I'll explain the fly formation to you. First, change the leader to the character in the yellow symbol. When the character in the yellow symbol is the leader, you're in fly formation. This formation allows you to fly. Press the X button again while jumping to ascend. Now you can reach high places. Let's try flying off that cliff now. Leave it to me. Let's go. Let's go. Let's whee! Make sure to keep an eye on the gauge in the top right corner of the screen when flying. When the gauge is empty, you'll drop. Pay attention to the gauge and try flying over there. Let's go! Whee! Next, I'll explain Thundershoot to you. Try Thundershoot by pressing the square button while in fly formation. This lets you shoot your teammates at the enemies like balls. Thundershoot comes in handy when you want to shock your opponents or when you need to aim for high places. Yay! Let's go! Okay, now let's try destroying all of those enemies over there. Chase! Chase!
Got it.
Here we go! Leave it to me!
Level up. Yeah.
Let's go! I'll now explain the last formation called the power formation. The power formation is useful to crush the enemies and rocks with powerful attacks. First, change the leader to the character in the red symbol.
Got it.
Try pressing the square button and destroy those big rocks and containers over there.
Already?
Wow, you're a quick learner! Excellent! Okay, now let's try destroying all of those enemies over there.
Level up. Too cool.
You may have already noticed this, but if you press the square button at the right time while in a power formation, you'll do all sorts of combo attacks. Press the square button while jumping from here to do a special attack. You want to try some more?
Take this. Take this. Take this. Too cool.
Here we go! Now for the very last special attack, Team Blast! When the gauge in the top right corner is full, then you can attack using Team Blast by pressing the R1 button. This is the ultimate attack to use when you're in a pinch. Let's give it a try and wipe those guys out! The gauge for Team Blast is energized by collecting items, rings, defeating enemies, or by using formation actions. It's hard to...
Blast away! That's it!
Level up! That's all! You did great! I knew you would do just fine! Touch that gold ring over there to clear the stage! Come back anytime if you need to practice!